Tariff Wars Explained Using Bananas by Monkey Explains. There are many. I think there's also dog versions and cat versions and monkey versions. Stuff explained by cats and stuff. It's really interesting, this new trend. Well, let's jump in.
Meet Uncle Don.
Uncle Don looks like the Orange Man.
He's the head honcho of the world's largest milkshake company. He's got money, muscle, and a non-stop craving for fresh bananas to produce milkshakes and other snacks. But here's the catch. Uncle Don doesn't grow bananas. Too slow, too expensive. Don would rather just buy them from someone else and focus on refining them into high-value goods, making smoothies, snacks, and banana-flavored protein powder. So every day, thousands of crates of bananas arrive from a distant jungle ruled by a shrewd panda. Panda is a banana tycoon.
China. Banana.
He's got high-tech banana harvesting robots. He has specialized his industry to produce raw materials like bananas. Naturally, Uncle Don's milkshake empire runs on these affordable bananas. He imports them by the millions from Panda's jungle. Everything is going smoothly. Until one day, Uncle Don sits down with his team and flips through the numbers. His eyes narrow. He sees that every year, the US jungle buys hundreds of billions of dollars worth of bananas from Panda, while Panda only buys a few $1,000s worth of American apples and other items from the US. This, to Don, is outrageous. It's what economists call a trade deficit.
We call that, yes, trade deficit. We also call that dog shit products. Like the US has them. Dog shit products. Nobody would buy apples from the US. They have probably 200% more lead than legally allowed.
When you buy way more from someone else than they buy from you, from Panda's point of view, he's got a trade surplus. He's selling more than he's buying from Uncle Don. Uncle Don slams the table in anger and decides to do something about it. So he does what any smoothie mogul/president would do. He declares a trade war. First move? Uncle Don picks up the hammer of the law and slams a 25% tax on every banana Panda ships in. Now this banana tax is what we call a tariff, a tax placed on imported goods to make them more expensive and less attractive to buyers. Here's the twist. Panda doesn't actually pay this tariff. That tax, it hits the US side. Importers like supermarkets and fast food chains cough up the extra cash at the border, and then they just bake it into the price. So who ends up paying more?
The consumer. Because at the end of the day, you know where that lands, on whose pockets is that where that gets thrown on, whose pockets? The consumer. At the end of the day, they throw that into the price, and the consumer is the one that pays it. That slap was personal. Go Panda. Why aren't you buying my useless products at the same rate I buy your properly grown and functioning supplies? McBananas.
You do, the customer. That $4 banana smoothie, now it's $6. Tariffs don't punish Panda directly. They just make his bananas more expensive to buy and discourage US.
I watched the clip just to I mean, this is more an inflation thing, right? But still, I watched the clip of Leaflet explaining where she eats. She's also a VTuber, slime VTuber. And she basically said that back in the day, she could get a really cheap meal, and it was really, really good for like $1 or $2. And now the same meal costs like 7 or 8. That's crazy.
Businesses from working with Panda. And this is why tariffs aren't just price tags. They're weapons. And Panda doesn't take this lying down. In a snap, Panda pulls out his own hammer and slaps retaliatory tariffs on everything Uncle Don exports. Apples, soybeans, peanut butter, even their prized refined goods. Just like that, the trade war is on. And it's the banana buyers, banana sellers, and innocent customers who suffer. Monkey is tired of this bullshit.
US egg prices increased to record high, dashing hopes of cheap eggs by Easter. Yeah. That was a complaint that I've heard, that eggs were hilariously expensive. I don't struggle. I have quails. They lay my eggs when I need them.
But things are far from over. See, the bananas Uncle Don imports aren't just for milkshakes. Some are turned into expensive, high-demand refined goods like banana breads, cookies, and protein powder. These goods are then consumed domestically by U.S. citizens or exported abroad for a profit. And as it turns out, bananas aren't just fruit. They're the raw material that forms the base of an intricate global supply chain that keeps entire industries running. With tariffs raising the price of each banana, factories across America start stalling. Snack companies can't produce their cookies. Smoothie businesses can't access their key ingredients. And nobody knows where to get their next shipment of bananas. It's a total fiasco. Looking around at the chaos, Uncle Don gets an idea. Maybe we shouldn't be relying on foreign bananas at all, he says, stroking his red tie thoughtfully. Maybe it's time to grow our own. It will be more expensive, but these will be made in America, grown by American farmers. It's not just a...
Yeah, it's just... Cooked.
supply change. It's a philosophy. Economists call it economic nationalism, or decoupling. Some say it's smart. Others say it's a step backward in a globalized world. Uncle Don just calls it common sense. Factories start packing up and leaving Panda's jungle to avoid Uncle Don's tariffs on Chinese goods. Some head to Vietnam, others to India.
Bro just escaping. A lot of pressure to put on the banana. True. The banana is gone! Mega Arbok got revealed. Well, not officially. It's all leaks, apparently, for now.
A few even crawl back home, setting up expensive new farms in Uncle Don's backyard. But this new banana independence comes at a price. Smoothie shops are still paying more for ingredients. American bananas cost more to grow, take longer to ripen, and don't always pass the taste test. Customers grumble, workers get laid off, banana inflation grows. But mission accomplished, right? No. Uncle Don is still steaming with anger. He's not just mad about bananas anymore. Word on the vine is that Panda's been sneaking into the American banana labs, copying secret banana growing technology, stealing recipes for ultra-compact free...
Well, that makes sense. That you copy everything. That makes sense. American food is unsettling to think about. Not even God knows what's in that stuff. For sure. Like I said, baby food over there is deadly. If your child turns out weird, you know why. It's the baby food. Uncle Don fucked up.
Dried bananas and undercutting American products in global markets. Uncle Don storms into a press conference and declares war a second time. He accuses Panda of forcing American companies to hand over their tech if they want to keep their doors open in the jungle. What Don is talking about are intellectual property concerns and forced technology transfers. In other words, Don believes American companies are forced to give away their blueprints and trade secrets just to keep their Chinese offices open. For Don, this isn't just bad business, it's personal. As the war drags on, both sides take hits. Don's farmers suffer, Panda's exports are slow. Global fruit trade becomes a maze of paperwork, taxes, and late deliveries. Eventually, both leaders decide to pause the madness and agree on a Phase 1 truce. A ceasefire. Panda promises to buy more American apples and peanut butter, and Don agrees to ease off some of the harsher tariffs. But the trust is gone, the damage is done, and
True. Now just at any time you could get nuked by tariffs. Yeah. I feel like these tariffs help less than they actually add to anything, because the problem is other countries would import more if your goods wouldn't be ass, which they are. They are ass.
neither side looks quite the same. Local businesses and shops rebuild, but cautiously. New supply routes are drawn. Other jungles, Vietnam, Mexico, Thailand, start filling the void once filled by Panda's exports. And both Don and Panda walk away with bruises, battle scars, and
They look beaten up. It's funny.
battered economies. The US and Chinese trade war wasn't just about bananas. It was about power, trust, and who gets to make the rules in the economy of tomorrow. So the next time you sip a $9 banana smoothie and wonder why it tastes like bitterness and bureaucracy, now you know. If any monkey's confused, remember that this is not a political endorsement of any country or person referenced in this video. Please do not sue Monkey. Thank you so much for watching, and subscribe for more content just like this.
Please do not sue Monkey. Monkey innocent. Well, technically it's a gorilla, right? Oh no, my banana is too... You degenerate. Interesting. Interesting. Now we know. I like these. These are funny. These are actually funny. Parasol only existed to show American control. Yep. That is very true. That is very true. Yeah, the problem is just that these terrorists, they don't... At the end of the day, they're not really helping anybody. They're really just beating the shit out of the average person, because we're the ones paying it, not the government. Uncle Don's kind of crazy. He's throwing out random terrorists. He might think it's temporary, but most terrorists stay in place for decades, and that friendship he had with people is gone. Yep, exactly. I think this is not a particularly smart decision, as that's going to destabilize global relationships. It is what it is. Anyways, like, comment, and subscribe.